Months and months ago, the DOWNSHOT community was working on icebergs, finding obscure info within the game throughout various versions. Today, I'll be showing my rendition of the iceberg, which has the most information of all the other ones. Without further ado, let's start at the tip of the iceberg. DOWNSHOT. DOWNSHOT is a VR game developed by cmvr Game Studios, released for the Meta Quest 2, 3, 3DS, and for Oculus PC VR devices. As quoted, DOWNSHOT was the first game released by cmvr Game Studios, LLC. With no funding and limited assets, the game was initially only released on the Apple App platform. Despite these challenges, it has experienced significant success, propelling both the game and the studio into a bright future. cmvr. cmvr is the main developer/creator of DOWNSHOT. Before making DOWNSHOT, he had a presence on YouTube, making some Beat Saber videos and live streams before eventually starting work on the game we all know and love. Special Hat. The hat is an item redeemable by a code from cmvr social media platforms, besides YouTube for some reason. A lot of people when joining the Discord ask for it, but they don't realize that the Start Here channel has some code on it. Arena Waves. Arena Waves is a special map in DOWNSHOT that you can unlock weapons from, as well as two physiques, Steel Skeleton and Uranium Skeleton. From Waves, you can unlock these weapons: Tenderizer, Compact Pistol, Little Slug, Desert Pistol, Compact Shotgun, Tactical Rifle, and Gun. Crash Guns. Crash Guns are what the name suggests, guns that crash a game. More specifically though, it is a combination of tool guns. One example of a crash gun was welding a spawner gun to a machine toggle gun. Crash guns, once found out, are usually patched to the next update, and this one was patched fairly quickly after discovery of the glitch. DOWNSHOT Discord. The DOWNSHOT Discord is the official Discord for the game, made by cmvr. They have a friendly and active community, as well as channels for mod development, beta testing, bug reports, and game suggestions. Outdated mods. DOWNSHOT mods are all hosted on mod.io. When looking on the page for DOWNSHOT, you may notice that there are a lot more mods on the older versions than the newer ones. This is because a lot of mods just haven't been updated for the future versions, and some modders have simply stopped being involved in the DOWNSHOT scene. Devlog/idea board. cmvr often updates the Discord server with stuff planned for the next updates. There's also a board on the right hand side that sometimes shows what is planned for future updates. In 1.5, it was planned for the next update to add the revolver and silencer, and we got them. butlertron 9000. butlertron 9000 is a mod developer for DOWNSHOT. His mods are the most downloaded mods in the game and are very positively viewed upon by the community. Also, you should subscribe to him. Shut your fucking mouth! Parabend/Lundy Brundy. Parabend, or Lundy Brundy, is the creator of the official DOWNSHOT original soundtrack. He is a music producer for DOWNSHOT and one of the main moderators of the DOWNSHOT Discord. He has been in the DOWNSHOT server since its creation, even before the server was for DOWNSHOT, we'll get to that later, and is one of cmvr's friends. Links to the original soundtrack will be at the corner of the video, as well as the description. Gold Skeleton. The Gold Skeleton is a physique given to players by cmvr via a code. It is the rarest and hardest to get physique in the game, and the only two ways to get it are through either getting 500,000 total mod downloads or participating in a trailer for the game. Secrets/Easter eggs. There are 3 Easter eggs/secrets in DOWNSHOT. The first and easiest one to find is the toast inside the gas station with the text "toast" on it. The second Easter egg is a piece of paper and sandbox on the back of one of the houses. It is a ripped piece of newspaper with the headline reading, "Unreal Engine developer creates a black hole after connecting a while loop with itself." The third Easter egg is one of the secret maps, Lattice. The entrance to it is a reference to The Truman Show, and the map itself is a reference to Interstellar. 1 hour crash. In DOWNSHOT, there is an issue where after about an hour of hosting a session, it will close by itself. The reason for this occurring was some sort of issue with how multiplayer works in DOWNSHOT, but this issue will be patched in the next update. 1.8. Beta testing. Before an update releases, there is beta testing that opens up for the next version. Anyone can participate, however only the Discord server is notified. To play the beta version, go to the game's settings and change the release channel to beta from the dropdown. DOWNSHOT VR. DOWNSHOT VR is the sorta old name for DOWNSHOT. This small name change happened in 1.2. The game is still often referred to by both names, particularly by the community. Rainbow Planet in the Sky in some maps. In Blank, and previously Sandbox, there's a very colorful planet in the sky. Many players have theories about this planet, and if it might have anything to do with the lore of the game. This planet is also a giant 3D model, and a smaller version of the planet is present in Prop Hunt. SDJ Pig. SDJ Pig is a DOWNSHOT YouTuber and beta tester, being the most popular among YouTubers with focuses primarily on DOWNSHOT content. As of this video, he has 1.15 thousand subscribers. I recommend watching his content, it's pretty decent. Skeleton 404 was originally dev only. The Skeleton 404 is a purchasable physique for DOWNSHOT. Originally, this was going to be a developer only skin, however, cmvr decided to instead make it purchasable and released it in patch 1.4.2. This physique is also the first to be in its own microtransaction rather than a pack. Noob Sauvage. Noob Sauvage is a mod developer and active member in the DOWNSHOT community. He has the second most downloads in total according to mod.io's download stats. His most popular mod in the game is the Star Wars mod. Super Average Guy. Super Average Guy is a mod developer and active member in the DOWNSHOT community. He is one of the first players to get to Wave 99+. His primary focus on mods are maps, and his most popular mod in the game is the Chaos mod Remastered. Scopes and silencers removed and re-added. Prior to version 1.2, there were scopes and silencers, however due to performance issues they were removed. Scopes were re-added the next update in 1.3, and an attachments overhaul had the silencers come back in 1.6. Seeker maps. There are 3 seeker maps in DOWNSHOT. The first and most well-known is nicknamed Daytime Hills for its similarity to Nighttime Hills. You need to find a key in Sandbox and put it in the door to enter. The next map is Lattice, where you need to follow this arrow in Ocean to eventually find a door, which entering it will bring you there. The last secret map is Logo Map, which is accessible by pressing a button outside of the Tryon map. It is unknown where exactly this button is, but exploding a barrel on the wall on the left of the map can activate the hidden button and put you in there. V2 Murder Machine. V2 Murder Machine is a somewhat active member in the DOWNSHOT Discord server and community. He has been known to host very fun servers with one of the largest static builds in DOWNSHOT. A lot of the time, V2 hosts servers with mods. Digital Frontier. Digital Frontier is an album of sci-fi ambient tracks made by Valazar. A large portion of the ambient music that plays in DOWNSHOT comes from it. Highest wave scores. In the Discord, there have been efforts to get or see what the highest arena wave score is. The highest your wave score can go without losing cosmetics if you want is 102, which I actually happen to have. Retrostorm. Retrostorm is a mod developer and active member in DOWNSHOT. He is the most skilled active mod developer, making some really cool mods like an active Ragdolls mod, and more recently a natural disasters mod. Ancient Dry Slave. The Ancient Dry Slave is a 3D model made by DZenChar on Fab. In the DOWNSHOT server, it is a cheap inside joke that was made by butlertron 9000. It started with a joke feature suggestion to add it with a link to the 3D model. Old gun physics. Before the physics overhaul in 1.3, the gun physics were quite weird. They weren't as fluid and neat as nowadays. All physics have been completely revamped in 1.3, including gun physics, and the gun physics have never been better than now. Unused weapon models and game thumbnails. If you've looked closely at DOWNSHOT's game thumbnail before, you might have noticed there are unused weapons shown in there. These models are most likely just filler, or items planned to be added. Spawn preview hidden objects. Looking at the preview for spawning in certain items, you might see hidden things such as the roof of the go-kart and a red dot sight on the SMG. Some of these things are just segments of models that go completely unused, bullet casings, or segments of models that were once in the game but have been removed. Stupid Song. Stupid Song is a short song made with Chrome Music Lab by cmvr. It is what plays in the SDK template and as such is part of the DOWNSHOT SDK. Have a listen. Pre-1.3 spawner gun menu. Before 1.3, the spawner gun menu is blue, and before 1.2, there were 2 options in the top right corner, Smart Despawn and Override Max Count. These options have been renamed and moved to the Session Settings menu as host-only options. Respawn button. Before 1.3, the way to respawn was a button found on the menu. Nowadays, you simply have to respawn by holding the menu button for 3 seconds. Plans for campaign. Plans for a DOWNSHOT campaign have been mentioned several times by cmvr inside and outside of the game. On the right side board in the starting map, before 1.5, at the last line it says, "and maybe a campaign." For these last few tiers of the iceberg, Super Average Guy will be voicing over them rather than me. Also, look at this impersonator of him on TikTok.
Don't mess with the super average guy army, or this could be you. Oh, I shit myself.
Debug Land. Debug Land is a small area in some very old versions of the map sandbox that include a sign and sometimes a work in progress item. In 1.13, there was an early spawner gun in the Debug Land area that spawns NPCs. On the Debug Land sign, it has references to Wolf Pass and in tech brackets that read, "will be part of the story later." The Recycling Theory. The recycling theory is a fan-made theory that speculates when soldiers die, they get recycled into heads. This theory was created by Beta Elder, who is a member in the DOWNSHOT Discord, and probably made this theory just to give cmvr more ideas or something. Download bait mods. Download bait mods are downshot mods that are created with misleading thumbnails to clickbait users into downloading. However, they usually do not contain any contents, or the contents of the mod are very misleading. Old robot animation. The old robot animation was in trailers, like the 1.0 trailer for example, and the animation for the hostile robot NPC was different. The current animation is more like jogging, however the old animation was a lot more like full sprinting. 1.7 beta. On August 22nd of 2025, the 1.7 beta was accidentally released for a few minutes and then it was removed. There were a few people who had gotten access to the unreleased beta and had sent unreleased and unseen things, such as a new map and the appearance and confirmation of a uranium skeleton physique as a reward for reaching wave 100 in reloads. Old ringing noise during death. In some older versions of the game, such as 0.13, whenever you would die, there would be a ringing sound effect that would fade in during death. It is unknown as to why it was removed. Double server bug. The double server bug is a bug where whenever you host a session, there's a very small chance that your code is the same as a pre-existing one. This is probably the rarest bug to experience in the entire game. Downshot merchandise. In a picture of cmvr's computer setup, there's a Downshot poster on the ground. Could this maybe be a hint to Downshot merchandise? Old physique names. In beta versions of 1.3, seen in some videos on cmvr's YouTube, the names for some physiques are different than in the modern game. For example, the Goblin's physique's old name was Troll, which is fairly similar to the name for the asset Fab, and Agent's old name was John, which has become a running joke in the Discord server. Old Waves Machine. In 0.13 and prior, there were many Waves machines in a couple of maps that had multiple wave modes, such as America and Alien Invasion. Wolf Pass. Wolf Pass is a fictional company that has to do with Downshot lore. It is somewhat similar to Monogon from Boneworks and Donut. The lore isn't completely finished, so this is subject to a change. Weird map file names. A few maps such as Sandbox and Droplet have peculiar names, though there are reasons for it. Sandbox is called Waves maps, because in older versions, pressing a button would start an early Waves modes, predating the Waves machine. Prop Hunt is called a tutorial example map, and this is due to it previously being a showcase map of sorts that would show you what the game has to offer with different interactive features. Old async name. Before the song Async was fully released, its name was Shortman. This could have been seen in the files of the game, as there was an audio file called shortman_demo12_21_24_. This version of Async is the trailer version, and was the version playing in-game before the full version was released. Typos in-game and on the files. A lot of items in maps and Downshot have typos in their names. Some examples are the tactical sword and Prop Hunt's file name, and also the freezer gun, null physique. In beta versions of Downshot, where new physiques have been added, if you equip them and then go into a live release, you will turn into a null physique. Your character is an A-posing default robot. Your stats are default, and because the physique hasn't initiated correctly, your body is invisible to you, and your couch is on the ground, causing you to be invulnerable to soldiers and other ranged NPCs. You can take damage from any other NPC players, however. Networking demo. Some older versions, and on a trailer on cmvr's YouTube, there is a test map that was used for testing multiplayer that had gray walls on the floor, and some other interactable things such as a mirror. This map was networking demo in the files, which was eventually removed in 1.6. This was also nicknamed the Void of Birds by Discord members, because this is what happened when you entered the map and versions before it was removed.
Number 7.
Character base. Character base is the only NPC that cannot be spawned through in-game means. It is an example of an NPC meant as a base for new NPCs, hence the name, character base. This model is only one kind of robot, the one with red lights, and it also has no animation. It only has behavior to follow the player fairly quickly, at speeds somewhat close to the zombies. Ghoul/Old Skeleton NPC. The Ghoul or Skeleton NPC was an NPC in DOWNSHOT 0.13 that was similar to zombie. However, it wields a sword. It is the only NPC to have been completely scrapped from the entire game. dsvr 0.0.1. DOWNSHOT 0.0.1 is the only public version of DOWNSHOT that isn't downloadable from the release channel switcher. The file name of it is Cloneworks, due to this being more so of a Boneworks clone. It showcases a lot of early things, a lot of them being in the modern game today. Most of the assets in this game are either free UE marketplace assets or VRGK assets. Climb map. Climb map was the only functional DOWNSHOT map you couldn't enter through any normal means. This map was originally planned to be a climbing challenge for rewards such as a physique or item. For a long time, it used to be just completely blank, but in 1.6, it had been changed to have an untextured map, which turned out to be a test for how well different AIs could use a plugin for map making. Eventually, this map was removed in 1.7. DOWNSHOT was planned to be a survival game. In some older versions, presumably 1.0, there was a small board in the tutorial note that reads, "In the early stages of development, DSVR was intended to be a survival game. Dynamic day and night cycles were added, along with zombies and skeletons." This farm/country map was the second map ever added to DSVR. DevShot. DevShot is a private Discord server which only cmvr and Blondie run inside of it. In the chats, Blondie and CVR have talked about lore potentially to be revealed in the campaign. Screenshots of messages between the two have been sent by Blondie, although heavily censored, the Discord for DSVR. Before DOWNSHOT existed, the DOWNSHOT Discord used to be a Beat Saber fan server, mainly for cmvr's content. cmvr used to primarily make Beat Saber content on his channel prior to starting to work on DOWNSHOT. His last Beat Saber video was made on June 8, 2022. Agent Physique has been in the game since 0.8. The Agent Physique is a physique that is part of the bonus pack. It was added around 0.8 as a physique, predating the cosmetic switcher, which was added in 1.3. This has been confirmed by a TikTok video showing cmvr in a lobby with the Agent Physique before it was available to the public. It was most likely the only other physique besides Default Robot to be in the game at the time. It was also most likely only cmvr was able to use.
Thank you for watching the DOWNSHOT Iceberg. This video was planned for several months, and despite debating whether or not to make this video, I finally released it. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.